so much has happened since our last show. We had the Academy Awards, and the big winner was The Last Emperor, life story of Al Haig. Also, you know, I was thinking about this. We take our politics so seriously in this country. We really do. You take the city of Palm Springs, California, the residence of some of the most serious people in America, and who do they elect as their mayor? Sonny Bono. Sonny Bono. His inaugural address has already gone platinum, and that's for our younger viewers. Also, his ex-wife Cher was at the inaugural ball, where she was seen wearing a diamond key to the city in her navel. Meanwhile, back in Congress last week, they voted to abolish dial-a-porn. And when they did that, they lost the evangelist vote. Now, the most volatile primary was the New York primary. It was really something, and all of the candidates went to New York City and pandered to all of the groups in New York. Al Gore was bar mitzvahed the day he got there. He was circumcised the day after he got there. And then probably the lowest point in Mayor Ed Koch's career was when he said during the primary, quote, "A Jew has to be crazy to vote for Jesse Jackson." Well, Jackson didn't lose his cool. He looked at Koch and quoted directly from the Bible. He said, "Art thou the king of the Jews?" Well, the Republicans did a little pandering of their own. George Bush went to Philadelphia, where he had an audience with Frank Rizzo. You know Rizzo, ex-cop, tough guy. Bush walked up to Rizzo, bent over and kissed his brass knuckles, and Bush was there to apply for de-wimpification treatment at the Rizzo Macho Clinic. The treatment worked. On his release, George Bush called reporters a bunch of scum, and he referred to Michael Dukakis as dead meat. Meanwhile, the Republican side of things, you know, Robert Dole had to pull out of the race. Dole pulled out of the race because he only carried one state, Guam. Then, he carried Iowa. Shows you how useless the Iowa caucuses were, if you think about it. Dole won for the Republicans, Gephardt won for the Democrats, and Pat Robertson beat George Bush. As Iowa goes, so goes Iowa. Now Dole has to campaign for his old adversary, George Bush, in the fall. I can just hear Dole now. The thing I've always admired about George Bush is his macho, take-charge style of leadership. So Bush, as I said, is the nominee apparent, but it will not become official for 3.5 more months. It will take that long for Bush to visit his remaining native states. He will go to his native state of Wyoming, and he will visit an Indian reservation, where he will visit with his uncle, Chief Running Bunky Prescott Redfeather, the nation's oldest living preppy Native American. Chief is very brave. The alligator on his shirt is alive. While there, he will do a tribal war dance with his tribe. It's a foxtrot. Then, the Prescott Redfeathers. This tribe goes back to the 1600s in Massachusetts, where they taught the Pilgrims how to plant after-dinner mints. Then Bush will leave for a visit in his native state of New Mexico, where he will meet with his cousin, Felipe Herbert Walker Rodriguez. There's a very thin line between the satire and the original event. Sometimes there's no line at all. For example, last month in Congress, they actually debated all week long about whether or not to send weapons to the Contras to tide them over during the ceasefire. Right about that time, we sent 4 infantry battalions to Honduras. Why 4? One for North, Poindexter, Secord, and Hakeem. There they were. The The infantrymen with camouflage makeup on their faces and branches on their helmets so they could sneak through Tegucigalpa Airport undetected. Tegucigalpa, here we come. Who knows where we're coming from? We are dialing invasion and we just got your call. We've camouflaged our faces for camping out in shopping malls while drugs from Panama flow easily. We'll overthrow Ortega while Noriega goes free. That's our foreign policy. Tegucigalpa, here we come. Win one for Ollie, Goosey-Galpa. Here we come. Send Pat Buchanan, Goosey-Galpa. Here we come. Thank you. Very, very, very thin line. Last week, some reporters asked White House Press Secretary Marlin Fitzwater. They said, is the president upset that former Press Secretary Larry Speaks purposely invented Reagan's quotes? Fitzwater said, yes, the president is upset, but don't quote me. So now we know the truth, that Larry Speaks was a great communicator and Ronald Reagan was the dumb guy from Mississippi. Now, you know, Speaks is not too sharp. I mean, he could have said anything. He could have made up any quote. Did you read some of the examples, the things he was proud of? After the Gorbachev summit, Speaks said that Reagan said, quote, well, our differences may be serious, but so is our commitment toward improving understanding. Wow. If I were Reagan, I'd sue Speaks for making him sound like Jimmy Carter. But anyway, here's how it all works. We had a puppet in the White House, according to leaks. Ronnie's mouth was open, but Larry Speaks. The puppet's lips were moving, but he didn't say a thing. Larry did the speaking, and he pulled a little string. My fellow Americans, who wrote that quote? Was it Ronnie or Larry or Memorex? A White House ventriloquist with a talent sublime, but could he drink a glass of water at the same time? Back in the days of Truman, it was give 'em hell Harry. Under Ronald Reagan, it's give 'em quotes Larry. The Iran Gate caper will soon be done. Guess who's holding the smoking gun? They had an agreement during all those weeks. Nobody says nothing until Larry speaks. All right.